John Cena dials long distance to the dead man. Alexa Bliss takes body shaming to an entirely new level. The ultimate deletion is upon us, and every tag team gets these hands.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yeah.
Lights at though.
Flip mode.
There you go.
Bus a bus. He's going to say 9-7, and I'm going to feel so old. That's when this song came out. He just said 9-7. Ow! Man!
You don't look like that.
I know the lyrics, by the way. Hit you with no delay into what you're saying, yo. Silly with my 9 milli, what the dilly, yo. What up, everybody? This is the Raw After Show. I just surprised you and made you so proud. I told you I know my bus to bus. When you brought it up, I said yes.
I've never seen her react that way, ever.
He moody, yo.
Wow.
I mean, there's certain words I can't say in this song, but I do know the lyrics.
As long as you know that.
Yes, this is the Raw After Show on AfterBuzz TV. Welcome in, everybody. The Wi-Fi is down right now, so we're going to try to get the chat roll on the big screen so we can read and interact with you. Unfortunately, I don't think TK and I... Are you on? Are you on? You're on. All right, so TK can type all over. I'm just gonna sit here like my computer means something. All right, here we are. Well, we're half the squad tonight, but just as powerful. Marquia McCarty once again out on assignment. Make sure you follow her at Marquia McCarty. And of course, the Hobo, the Boxcar Superstar, a little under the weather, so send him your love at True Hobo on social media. Jonny Loquasto here with you. And alongside, you see her every single day on TMZ, and she's often talking about butts, which I appreciate. You're honest on television, which is rare.
I mean, yeah.
She's TK Trinidad. What's up?
Nothing. But when
Yo.
the devil is standing on your doorstep, you should never let him in. I love that.
Bray Wyatt?
Yeah. I don't know when I'm gonna use it. I just use it now. But yeah.
I think it's something worthy to keep back in your mind at all times.
Yeah, just to scare somebody.
Yeah. What a Raw. I mean, there's so much that happened, and I don't know how long it exactly was. A lot happened in this episode, and we're going to do our best to sum it all up in about 40, 45 minutes. Because, wow, I mean, we're there.
I'm up for the challenge.
All right, WrestleMania time, baby. Raw is in Detroit. We start off Kurt Angle hitting the ring, and he's excited to be in his mixed tag match at WrestleMania with Ronda Rousey, taking on Triple H and Stephanie, of course. But, bad news. Brock Lesnar not going to be here tonight after being promised he would show up. I got to tell you, the lines are getting awful blurred.
I think The Rock is coming.
What?
Because...
You said Brock or The Rock?
The Rock. Because...
Dwayne Johnson.
Yes. Because Vince mentioned him when he was talking about Roman Reigns.
He did.
All this stuff. I just feel like he wouldn't intent, like there's intent with Vince. I feel like The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania.
You're saying The Rock to help out Roman?
No,
somehow?
to help out Ronda.
What?
Yeah.
What about Kurt?
Kurt's going to get an injury or, triple pneumonia or...
But that's a different storyline.
I feel like that's just what's going to happen. Like, I feel like when we were introduced to Ronda, it was her and The Rock. And we haven't seen The Rock in a long time. And I feel like it's going to be one of those situations where, Kurt's going to call in a favor and it just so happens to be The Rock.
See, I was thinking you were going to go the route of Vince is talking about The Rock. Well, he's related to Roman Reigns, and maybe The Rock comes in and kind of, I don't know, does something.
Yeah, no.
All right. I mean, stranger things have happened.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You never know.
I don't know where in the world he's going to be on April 8th.
Well, I stalk him on a regular basis, so I can probably tell you.
He'll probably be filming some kind of, disaster film.
Yeah, he just put out the promo for that, but obviously he's training all the time. I believe he's not in town. He's not in LA at the moment.
Of course not.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey.
But I know when he is in LA.
Anything's possible. Brock Lesnar is not showing up tonight, and Kurt Angle doesn't have an answer for him. He might not feel well. Maybe he just didn't want to show up. Roman Reigns isn't happy. He calls Brock Vince's boy, and the problem is Vince McMahon. He storms to the back, and I love this realism here. This was really cool. He goes right to the control room where Vince is there, Shane is there, really just pulling back the curtain, the Wizard of Oz curtain, if you will. And Vince calms him down and says, let's go talk in my office. After the commercial break, Renee is waiting to get a word. Roman storms out, and then he just says, I'm not going to be disrespected by Vince. He leaves, and then Vince says that Brock really only respects himself. He doesn't like people, which is very true. Brock hates people in general.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's why he's in the farm in Canada.
Yeah, did we mention, I think his only phone there is like a half mile down the driveway.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
But I'm assuming he has internet that he probably checks every few days.
Maybe.
Like he seems not bothered. Like he's not the person that grabs like. I don't know.
Maybe Sable
handles.
Sable may handle the internet and phone stuff. Maybe.
So you think he doesn't have a cell phone either?
I don't know.
Like he might have those phones where he doesn't need all the data, so he pays literally like $5 a month because it's like 10
Nokia,
minutes.
and he plays Snake.
Like he doesn't, just in case.
Right.
But he doesn't grab for the phone for internet or any of that stuff.
Maybe, but either way, he was not on Raw. Vince McMahon says Roman Reigns is temporarily suspended, and he mentioned the line from The Rock, "Know your role and shut your mouth," which, woo, that's getting personal.
Well, how long do you think he's going to be suspended for?
I mean, if Brock actually does show up next week, that's what's cool about this. Like, WrestleMania always takes things up to the next level, which we're going to talk about multiple times on this episode. Mm-hmm. This is blurring the lines because Brock Lesnar is so unpredictable. He's the kind of dude that would be like, nah, I don't feel like showing up. Maybe it seems like he's gotten the octagon bug again. Mm-hmm. So
him and possibly CM Punk.
Well, Punk already said he's June 9th.
Yeah, I think it's 225 or something. Yeah, I pulled that.
2 1/4.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it does really blur the lines. You would think Brock is going to, obey his contract, which pays him a lot of money.
Why obey a contract where it's just like a little kid, right? Mm-hmm. So a kid will only go so far as that you let him go or that kid goes. So, if you let them go a certain distance, then they're going to keep on pushing the limit. So he's probably gone so far where it's like, I don't need to show up. I just need to show up when my match is. Nobody's going to tell me anything. Nobody's going to do anything, so why bother? I
mean, he has more money than he'll ever need. So even if he's in breach of contract, I don't think he cares. But nonetheless, so Roman's suspended, and Vince promises that Brock will be here next week, and he says, "You have my word," which right away I'm thinking, all right, something else is up. Mm-hmm. Very interesting way to start. I just love the fact that, like I said, WrestleMania stuff gets really amped up.
Or maybe Roman goes to Canada.
He storms up his driveway,
yes,
and he calls him.
Wouldn't that be kind of awesome? I know, guys, everybody in the chat's like, what? I'm just, just thinking outside the box.
We're all suspending, disbelief anyway. It's professional wrestling, so why not?
Why not?
It could happen. It could be like an Austin Pillman situation, or like the Ultimate Deletion that we're about to see. Apparently next week, and not at Mania?
Yeah, I'm not so.
Well, that tells me maybe the Mania match will take place at the Wyatt compound, perhaps.
It tells me that Mania is going to be like 2 days long. Like, it's already long to begin with. It's going to be like 2 days long.
It's sensory overload. Are you going?
I have not decided yet.
Because work stuff might keep you...
I like to go to places where I am working versus just spectating.
I'm with you.
With everything.
Yeah.
Or I have this weird thing that I just don't like to be in crowds just in case something happens.
Well, then...
So that's why I like to be in the work situation.
Sure.
Because if something does happen, I know where I can go and can't go. So I don't know yet.
Tell TMZ. Yo, send me.
We'll see.
Yeah.
TMZ, send me.
All right, see? The word's out. Make it happen.
The word is out.
First match of the evening, Sasha Banks taking on Sonya Deville of Absolution. Let's fast forward to the end here. Good physicality back and forth. Obviously, Sonya, AfterBuzz family, is just fantastic. Really came a long way. Bayley helps out Sasha. Banks statement for the win. Then Bayley storms out. Absolution destroys Sasha 3-on-1. Bayley looked kind of just sad and angry the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know what they are planning on doing with her. Like, it feels like they either need to have like a talk and figure it out, or
it's one of those things where you can't have WrestleMania without Bayley and Sasha on the card. Right now it certainly looks like Alexa Bliss has her opponent, or two maybe. So I mean it's kind of just heading towards,
unless they're all going into the Royal Rumble, which they actually announced. Not the Royal Rumble.
Oh, the Moolah.
Yes, which they actually announced.
That's actually a really good point.
Because I feel like the only way I would find it interesting is if Bayley turns heel, and now she's like, pretty much F Sasha, like, you've been dogging me this whole time. I'm going to take what's mine. And kind of like, I would be excited to see that kind of, she's slowly taking one by one people, and then see that at WrestleMania. But if she's going to just be sulking all the time, and it's like, oh, she didn't treat me right. Oh, there goes my phone. My bad. She didn't treat me right, all that stuff, then...
Right. It could be one of those storylines that's just added to the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. And
Right.
you got to believe they want as many stars in that as possible. And when you already have, Asuka and Charlotte and Bailey and, Alexa and Nia or something.
That's going to be awesome. I hope Nia gets the belt.
It's certainly looking that way, which we'll get to. But yeah, you want to have as many stars in this Battle Royal as possible.
Mm-hmm.
How many, I don't know. Or is it going to be one of those things where, no, you can't have people wrestle twice on the WrestleMania card. Like, you can't have the title.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping it's already a long day, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like there's going to be some women who are not going to have, the chance. So, there's going to be definitely...
a lot of NXT, I think, in this one.
Yeah, a lot of NXT, but the women's roster is expanding on both sides.
Yeah, I want to say you have about 8 to 10 on each roster.
Yeah.
But, of course, like I said, there's the 2 title matches, which you can't have them wrestle twice.
Right.
So you want to have...
That's 4 people.
Yeah, and maybe the Andre and Moolah Battle Royal both pre-show. Because Andre's always pre-show.
Right.
Although they haven't announced the Andre one, have they?
No, they haven't. Not that I know of. But then I feel like if they're bringing some women up from NXT, and they also actually let some women go from NXT, but
Right.
if they bring some women up from NXT, then there also might be the announcement of tag teams. Which,
Yes.
I feel like we don't have enough right now, but we're on the cusp of having enough tag teams to kind of go around.
And that kind of sounds like a Raw after Mania announcement.
Maybe.
Something big.
Or maybe like a shakeup or something after that too with the tag teams. and
Superstar
stuff like
shakeup is going to be a thing for sure. Hall of Fame celebrity inductee Kid Rock. TK, thoughts?
that. I mean, if this Kid Rock 3 years ago, I'd be kind of excited.
Sure. I understand. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Politics aside, he's earned it. I mean, his songs have been involved in WWE programming for, like they said, almost 2 decades. Mm-hmm. The Undertaker's theme, Stacy Keibler's, a lot of his songs were the theme songs for pay-per-views and everything. Mm-hmm. So that's the hard thing. Do I think he's an ignorant doof? Absolutely. But if you take the politics out of it, yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, Vince's wife is in the administration.
Is she still?
Yeah.
She's one of the few that haven't quit.
Well, I mean,
Everyone else has quit.
well, yeah, I think she's in an office where she doesn't have to deal with, it's small businesses, so she doesn't have to deal with
Right.
Right. the day-to-day stuff per se.
I mean, I got to say, it's a little polarizing. I don't know what his speech is going to be like. But I'm with you. I actually was musically, I was a fan of Kid Rock back in college. And like I said, the last couple of years, he's very opinionated. I don't think he's the most educated when it comes to what he's saying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, career-wise, it makes sense.
Yeah, career-wise, it makes sense. I just feel like, and I'm not saying that they should have picked, a minority or any of that stuff. I just feel like at this point in time, they might have held him off until it's not as sticky right now.
Sure.
And then pick
maybe
somebody,
next year.
Yeah,
perhaps.
somebody that's a little bit more safe.
You're right. I mean, then again, these things are decided kind of ahead of time. I don't know if there's any more people getting announced. There should be at least one more. You would think. It's getting pretty full.
Yeah, I feel like they announced it like how many weeks in advance? So I believe it's 4 weeks until WrestleMania?
Okay, Zeno Hour, no, Kid Rock is not more deserving than Jeff Jarrett. Will you stop with the Jarrett hate? The guy gave a lot of opportunities to people. So that's a ridiculous comment. Even though you're usually on point, Zeno, I'm going to call you out on that.
Oh no, got called out.
Yes.
We're 4 weeks off, right? It's April.
Yep.
Yeah. So how long when do they stop? Is it 2 weeks out? Like I feel like they should be like almost building it.
I think one more maybe tops.
Yeah.
Is my guess. Miz TV, future Hall of Famer for sure. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, his guests. He tries to rile them up. They're not having it. Then again, they become face-to-face anyway. Then they turn to Miz, toss him out of the ring, and then Rollins gets a sucker punch in on Balor, which sets up Balor versus Rollins a little bit later on in the show. Once again, the Miz, no one can compete with him on the mic. I mean,
he's amazing.
Yeah.
And then we haven't found out, I don't know if you do watch Total Divas at all.
I don't.
So his wife is actually due right around Mania.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have a scheduled C-section or whatever. So, we're going to see if I don't know if they're like, what is she?
Ms. and Mrs. That's the USA show.
But what if she actually has the baby and he's scheduled to be WrestleMania?
A Mania baby? I mean, that's a great question. Let's hope that the scheduling works out.
That's exactly what he said when they found out the date. He's like, the doctor's like, no.
I'm not a father.
Doesn't happen like that.
Don't know.
That you know
yes. No, not. Sweating. The Bar versus Miztourage. Miztourage gets an early jump, but boy, this match breaks down fast. You get the Revival jumping in. Gallows and Anderson, the Good Brothers, the Titus Worldwide, then Slater and Rhino. Oh boy, did I miss anyone? I'm not sure if I did. It all breaks down. Sheamus and Cesaro, they bolt, they run. Everyone just beats each other up. A melee.
I obviously it led up to the very end, which makes sense. But yeah.
The Battle Royal was very confusing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I could have just bypassed that part.
Well, we're gonna get to it, but first, John Cena. One of my favorite segments in recent memory I can remember at John Cena. You know, we all knew he wasn't gonna go as a fan, even though he said he was. He grabs a sip of beer from the caveman-looking gentleman. And said, you know, I'm going as a fan unless I do something I'm not supposed to do. And then bam,
goodness.
Challenge dropped to Undertaker. And then he gets personal, calling him an egomaniac and saying he needs to step up and have one more match. And
The social media with his wife is actually pretty funny.
That's not dead man activity.
I mean, is he posting it on his wife's account, figuring that everybody else wouldn't see? Like, if you don't want people to see, then you don't post it.
I don't think Undertaker has any social media.
Right.
I don't think.
But that's the thing, though. It's just kind of like he wants people to see because he posts on his wife's account.
Yeah. Hey, chat roll, does Undertaker have social media? Like, I'm talking Instagram, Twitter. I don't think he does.
Or if he does, he doesn't use it.
Yeah.
Like he's not behind it. There's somebody else.
From what I understand, he had he had a hip surgery, so he's doing a lot better. But yeah, and I agree with who's that?
He doesn't have social media. Marie says he doesn't have social media, just Facebook.
In Oreo Nation, I agree with you. This is one of my favorite Cena segments in quite some time. I mean, I thought it was obviously passionate, and how could you not be excited for Cena Undertaker? Are you not?
I just don't like the setup of it. Like, I feel a couple things. John Cena, his personality, like the fact that he did that with the drinking the beer things, it almost feels like I'm confused whether he's an introvert and he just pushes himself out there, or he's truly like about the people. Like, I know he loves the people, but it's just kind of confusing with that. But that's just an overall thing. It just seems like, you know, you have the big contract. You can go between Raw and SmackDown, and you pretty much could do whatever you want. So you're gonna call out Undertaker, which I feel like Undertaker and Roman Reigns was a good tie on the bow. And I know nobody's ever done wrestling, but this is.
But here's the thing. The reason why I think they're gonna do this. So obviously Roman Reigns beating Undertaker was huge for Roman Reigns.
Right.
If you've noticed recently, John Cena is getting to the point in his career. He's not winning all the time anymore.
Right.
So, if The Undertaker is going to go out, it's nice to send him out with a victory. And that's why I think this match has happened. People, you might think I'm crazy, but I do think this is going to happen. I think we're going to see a tombstone on John Cena. Because honestly, it doesn't hurt John Cena. He could still wrestle for another couple of years, break Ric Flair's record if he wants to, although I honestly don't know if John Cena wants to break Ric Flair's record. I think he'd be happy leaving tied. But I think it's to let Undertaker ride off in the sunset on a victory.
But I don't know. I feel like how he rode off in the sunset, meaning that because at the end of the day, everybody gets old, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, what you did at 20 is not what your body's going to be able to do at 40, as with around other athletes. Around, you know, I'm sure Undertaker against, you know, the regular population is a whole different thing. But I feel like how he did it and he left his hat in the ring and also is just, that was just perfect to, like, that was just, there's you don't need another chapter to that. Like, I understand what you're saying, like, but that doesn't change my admiration for The Undertaker because he lost.
I mean, I got to believe he's not going to do this unless he feels way better than the last couple of years.
Right. So do you think it's possibly not going to happen?
Oh, no, it's going to happen.
Okay.
I mean, he called him out with no other options. So I think it has to.
Okay.
And I do think we're getting a tombstone, and Undertaker will then hop on that bike. Kid Rock plays him off. American Badass music.
Right.
Who knows? We might get the American Badass this time around. I don't know.
Right.
I hope not. I'd rather have the dead man. But
and then Cena actually goes off and gets married because he says they don't know when they're going to get married, which is a whole interesting thing.
That could happen.
Why bother getting engaged?
I don't. Hey, look. Who am I to say?
I know. I'm just, you know, I'm here to give my opinion. So I feel like you do the whole big thing last year. It's not like anything's really stopping you. I know you're both busy, but
Mm-hmm.
you can hire people to do stuff. Like you can essentially
You can do it in the kitchen.
Yeah, I want a giraffe in the middle of South Africa. Make it happen, which
As
part of the wedding
to officiate the ceremony.
well,
Oh, okay.
or to officiate. I'm sure you can teach one.
Yeah.
Like make it happen.
Giraffes
So
are very
like
intelligent.
so it's like kind of make it do it. So I don't know. I mean, I hope they're not gonna be engaged for like 10 years.
I don't know.
Seems kind of weird.
It does
Anyways.
seem kind of weird. The Bar is mad at Kurt Angle. They want to be traded now before any superstar shakeup. Kurt Angle says no. There will be a tag team battle royal tonight to decide their opponent at WrestleMania, and that ended up being the main event. Next, we have Elias, a very downtrodden, neck brace wearing Elias.
That was with the little night thingy.
It was lovely.
It was amazing.
Looked very sad, painful to speak. He refused to sing, and he said, "This is all your fault," and he left. He didn't treat us to his art.
So is him and Braun no longer? I mean, I know Braun came up right after that, but now it's kind of changed. So is him and Braun no longer a thing anymore?
I don't know. Judging by how tonight ended, you would think not, unless they become a tag team.
Right. Somebody said they had a bridal shower. I know they had a bridal shower, but sometimes people have bridal showers, but they don't announce the weddings. Like they don't announce when they're getting married, and that marriage could be 2 years from now.
Right.
So I know they did have a bridal shower, and Nikki has been doing different things, but they haven't. I think Cena did an interview a couple of days ago, and he said he didn't know a date. So.
Well, when it comes to Braun, he says some words after Elias, walks off. He says, I want an opponent at WrestleMania. I'm just going to do what I want to do. I'm going to figure it out. We'll get to my idea that I'll probably forget by the time we get to the end of the show.
Okay.
Just remember my idea. Remind me.
Your idea. Got it.
Finn Balor, Seth Rollins. Great finish here. Rollins with the superplex going into the Falcon Arrow, but Balor rolls him up and gets the win. I love finishes like that because you can tell a story doing commentary. Like that's my favorite thing because Rollins has his moveset and he goes for it. Balor had it scouted. Boom, rolls him up once again, just like the Universal Championship a couple years ago. Beats him again.
I like this, but I feel like you were saying in the beginning, there was a lot of stuff going on in Raw. Like whereas some weeks it's not. It was just like a lot to digest.
Yeah.
And I feel like this could have been saved for
Next week?
Next week.
Yeah,
It just seemed like, okay, this is amazing, but we still have, I think it was like another hour to go.
I don't disagree with you there. But either way, they're setting up the triple threat match with The Miz for the IC title. That match is going to be pure fire. Just that first thought, who do you think?
I was just about to ask you that.
I think Miz retains because he's only a couple weeks away from being the longest reigning total number of days IC champion of all time, which is really impressive for a guy that nobody wanted 10 years ago. 10, maybe 11 years ago.
That would be good, but I feel like both Seth and Finn have good arguments. Like Finn only had it that one time and he got injured.
Universal, yeah 24
so
hours, yeah.
It just kind of feels like they both have, and which makes it a great story. Like all three of them have reasons. I don't know.
I say Miz retains because he's that close.
He might retain, and then after WrestleMania, something happens.
Could be.
He loses it, and then he can spend time with his baby. At least.
I forgot about that.
He gets injured, and then he can spend time with his child for a little bit.
Yeah, unless they give him a new travel schedule where he's just Raw and that's
Well,
it.
that's what they did to Xavier. They were like on, something happened where New Day was like off, and it was around the same time. So
Could work out. I got to admit, I'm kind of rooting for The Miz to retain and just see him get really pompous, becoming the all-time reigner.
yeah, well, with the three of them, they can actually kind of extend it a little bit more, where he can retain, get that, the numbers, and then one of them, I prefer more Finn, even though I do like CrossFit Jesus. One of them now battles for it, and
Maybe it goes all the way to SummerSlam. Who knows?
maybe
Could be. How about
that's where
this?
I will be.
Are you going to go?
I am going.
In New York?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You already know that much.
Well, I mean, I used to go to New York every summer, so I have peoples there.
Sweet. How about this? The Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal at WrestleMania. We already mentioned it,
I
but the
called
official
it.
announcement, I love it.
I called it. I don't know what show I called it on, but there was a show I called it on.
Way to go.
So, yeah, women's evolution. It's just, it's supposed to happen. Why
And
not?
it allows literally every woman on the roster to work WrestleMania, which
Right.
is a dream come true for every one of them. So,
I mean, there's nothing worse than being there and not competing and doing something.
yeah.
So,
Well, it's like what you were just talking about. You would, like, I'm the same way. I would be really depressed if I wasn't at least working an event.
Yeah.
And luckily, I'm calling at least one event, and I'm going to hopefully call another event. And I'm doing Radio Row.
Dust
but
the
like,
shoulders off.
no, not at all. I wish I was doing more. But
More than a lot of people. I mean, people want to be doing stuff too.
yeah. But I know what you mean. It's kind of like you're there, but you really want to be.
Yeah, you want to be
In
doing something.
So that's what we gotta figure out for you.
Okay.
Get you down to New Orleans. Come on, people, make it happen. Asuka hits the ring as she's about to talk about why she challenged Charlotte last night on Fastlane. Alexa and Mickey interrupt, and this is where it gets really wacky. Alexa makes fun of the language barrier once again, calls Asuka a coward, saying she's going to the B show to face the lesser champion. And then Asuka gets very angry, screams a lot, and says Charlotte's better. Mm-hmm. Then Mickey and Alexa call out Nia Jax. Nia doesn't show up. Mickey attacks. We get Mickey versus Asuka. Great match. I mean, their match at NXT a couple years ago was phenomenal, too.
Right. I totally get it. Like, I love the fact that Asuka went over to SmackDown, because I think SmackDown needs a little bit of, like with Asuka there, it's going to be a nice little shake-up with the women. And then I feel like there's going to be a switch where Nia's going to go over and Asuka's going to come back to Raw. I feel like that's going to happen this year.
You're saying Asuka will not...
She's going to obviously get the...
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying superstar shake-up style.
Yeah. So I think she's going to get the belt, WrestleMania. Because Charlotte, obviously, I wouldn't say she's had it enough time, but she's had it enough time to kind of do different stories.
And then Charlotte can always end the undefeated streak later on if she wants.
Exactly. So I don't see them taking away the streak from Asuka at WrestleMania.
Okay.
And then I feel like Nia's going to get the belt. And then they might switch.
Yeah, I kind of hope there's a draft instead of just a shake-up where they say, hey, these people switch. We don't know why. I love the draft idea of it.
Okay, yeah.
The strategy.
Yeah, putting everything together. Yeah, I want to see Nia over there. But we'll see.
Agreed. But Mickey and Asuka, tore it up. Sunset flip powerbomb from Mickey James, the thing of beauty. And I love what she did afterwards. Just the frequent pin attempts in frustration, but also tiring Asuka out. Mickey's just got such great ring psychology, and it's so fun to watch her matches.
And her outfit was on point.
Yo, she's a superwoman.
Somebody said Carmella might break the streak. I don't see that happening.
Oh, good. Wow. That's a good point. Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I don't...
Because she might be in the Battle Royal, but that doesn't mean she can't catch. Look what Seth Rollins did 3 years ago.
But I feel like, I know we're going to get into this, but I feel like if Nia does get the belt and then Carmella tries to cash it in, like they can't, after all that stuff, like I feel that would not, it'd be...
You would think WrestleMania is when she'll cash in. She's already at 260-some days.
Yeah.
So she has like a full year.
I was doing the Fastlane after show last night on AfterBuzz TV with Steve Kaufman and that whole gang. Yeah, pretty much. And he predicted, I believe it was yesterday, and I'm not too familiar with wrestling, but he predicted something along the lines that Carmella would cash in the fight with Asuka, and it would be Asuka, and then Carmella would be the greatest heel in WWE history from that point on.
Strong words.
Yeah, no.
I don't ever really agree with Steve Kaufman, and I'm going to keep that up.
Oh, my. Well, then,
Just kidding.
I don't know about that one. I'm just, I don't know.
I think Carmella can cash in unsuccessfully and still make it work. But I just don't know if it's going to be. I think with Asuka, it's like if she wins the title, she's got to have that celebration. I think maybe Carmella might tease the cash in. But we'll see. Either way, fantastic match. Asuka lock for the win. And then afterwards, Alexa has a talk with Nia Jax backstage. Where were you? You know, I was trying to give you tough love last week. And then they say, I love you to each other. And Alexa's like, I need you in my corner next week when I take on Asuka. She's like, I promise I'll be there. Then Nia Jax has a 3-second match with Joan King.
Oh, you even got her name?
I did. I did.
Oh, poor Joan.
Dearly departed Joan King. Samoan drop for the win, but this is when, like I said, WrestleMania, things get amped up a little bit. Goes back to the dressing room. Alexa and Mickey just having a conversation. If you're really looking carefully, you see the boom mic. And obviously, you're seeing them. There's a camera in there somewhere. It is what it is. They have a conversation. I don't really want to get into all of it. But they're basically, she calls her
Shrek comment. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy though. You folks on chat, you can let me know, because I think up until last week, Nia was like they're best friends, and like she posts stuff on her like her IG stories with them and with Paige and all this stuff. So it's just like I understand it, but it's kind of when you have the social media aspect involved, it's like
yeah, I wish.
And then knowing also too that Nia has dealt with that, it's just kind of like now dealing with it in a bigger.
It's interesting because like 10 years ago, Michelle McCool did the same thing to Mickie James. Right, like shortly before Mickie left the company, they did a Piggy James angle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which was not well received.
Well, yeah, I know because people were attacking Nia on social media like a few weeks ago.
They were?
Oh yeah. She gets.
God, that's awful. But yeah, this is really what this will do. Man, by the end of Raw, people were all about Nia Jax, and that's exactly what this did. Alexa, to her credit, just laid into her, said all these awful things. Then Charlie Caruso lets him know, hey, that boom mic was on the whole time, so everyone saw and heard what you said. They bolt. They leave right before Nia comes back, just rips apart the entire dressing room, tears apart suitcases, which that would bum me out because suitcases are expensive.
They are, actually. I'm looking for some online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, good luck. But yeah, Nia's pissed off. She storms out. So this is building up. So all of a sudden we get Charlotte, Asuka, and now we're going to have Nia just trying to chase down Bliss.
Which makes sense now. Like, I remember, I think it was like last week she was crying, and I'm like, I don't understand why she's crying. Like, why would she do that? You know, but now it makes sense now because now everybody's going to come on her side.
Well, look,
and she's getting more of the softer. Because when you see her on Divas, she's a very soft type person. Meaning not soft and, people take advantage of her, but she's she's a sweetheart.
Sure.
But you don't get that up until a few weeks ago.
That happens with a lot of people who grew up big. You
But she didn't grow up big, though. Have you seen her pictures that she's posted of her years ago? She didn't grow up like she wasn't always that size.
Really?
So I mean, she was never like a size 2 that like I'm telling from the pictures, but she didn't grow up, big. And the thing too is, I would love to see her in person because a lot of people that we see on TV that look bigger,
right?
They're not that big. Like, for instance, the chick on Grey's Anatomy, the Latina chick, I think she looks like she's like a 10 or 12, but when I was actually an extra on that set, she's a legit size 6. So, I would love to like see her in person to say, okay, obviously she's bigger than the other girls, but, what's the definition of that?
Well, they wanted to find a way to get people to jump on board with Nia Jax, and if apparently, it took Alexa Bliss just, to her credit, within minutes, bam, all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my God, Nia, go kill her.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And Alexa, her mic skills.
Amazing.
Yeah. She's not leaving WWE anytime soon.
No, and her and Mickie, now we understand kind of why they teamed up again. Nia's going to have to run through Mickie probably before WrestleMania, and it's going to be a very intriguing match for sure. Speaking of intriguing, the Great War at the Hardy compound is never going to end. Or is it? The ultimate deletion is upon us. He challenges Bray next week, and I can't believe Matt Hardy introduced the family for the first time on WWE television. Queen Rebecca, King Maxwell, Senor Benjamin, Vanguard 1, the Lake of Reincarnation. They're going to vanquish the soul of Sister Abigail from the rotten soul of Bray Wyatt. Everyone knows I'm on board. You watched, didn't you?
I did. Somebody on the chat last week or on the comments last week told me, like, I was like, oh yeah, I need to watch. Amazing.
Did someone put together a compilation or something?
Somebody online on YouTube put together a compilation. So
how long was it?
It wasn't that long. It was maybe like 16, 17 minutes.
Perfect.
Where he broke down like how it started, even up to the point where he was fighting with Impact to get it back. So that's where he stopped. So it's like 2017 that he made it.
So it started off with like him and Jeff fighting.
The very beginning.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it took you through the whole thing.
Did you get to see their fights with Decay where they stole King Maxwell?
I watched a bit of it. So there's another, if you kind of go through YouTube, they have like a mix where they show like all the battles, and they have another one where they show him talking all the time.
Yeah.
Like I watched.
Can you send those to me? Because I don't know.
Sure.
I feel like watching it. But yeah.
They're on YouTube. But.
Well, I can look it up then. When I get some internet.
Oh, you still don't have internet?
I sure don't.
Oh.
I don't know what's going on.
My
It's an old Mac.
computer does.
I can't complain. Well, what is yours a Mac?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Oh, I can see the chat roll here. That's about it.
No.
But yes, this is amazing. It's weird it's happening next week, but I think somehow it's going to extend to WrestleMania. Maybe at the Wyatt compound, maybe once again at the Hardy compound. I'm not really sure.
like I want to see it in WrestleMania, but again, I'm just thinking in my mind, like how much, like, can you watch?
Well, it would allow everyone to kind of take a break if they need to during the broadcast. I just think these are such unique individuals. And then, of course, Bray Wyatt talks afterwards saying Matt Hardy's a liar and a fool, but just a man. I'll gladly accept his invitation. He said, you have a beautiful family. It would be a shame.
Yeah, that was...
something bad happened to them. I'm coming for you, Matt.
Yeah, that was kind of scary.
Hell yeah. I can't wait. I mean...
And he has 2 kids, too. Like, it feels like there's going to be some crazy stuff going on.
I agree. And whether or not it happens at WrestleMania, I'd like to believe it will. But yeah. Dude, get a Dell. Rather...
Do they still make Dells?
It's great advice. Yeah, they make PCs. I don't know. I just got a new Mac, actually.
Yeah, but do they make... Does Dell still have a company?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're still rolling.
I haven't seen a person with, like, a Dell in forever.
They're there. PCs are...
I know there's PCs. Like,
Yeah.
they have, like, the Samsung, but a Dell I haven't seen forever.
I think Dells are still living.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well.
Kurt Angle's talking to a referee, and I love this. He says, Sean, I need you to be referee at the Hardy compound next week. And the referee's like, did I do something wrong? He's like, no, I just need you to make sure that they come back in one piece. I like how he's trusting a referee at the Hardy compound. Genius.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a lot of things going on.
It's going to be amazing. I'm interested to see what happens over the next couple of weeks after what happens next week. You got to believe somehow it's going to continue, and I hope it gets weird as possible.
Yeah, it's going to see, like, with a lot of these storylines, it's just building, and then it's building to certain things that are going to be a little bit on the ridiculous side, and then it's all going to make sense in WrestleMania. That's what
I sure hope
hoping
so.
for.
And it's a bummer. I guess Jeff's not going to be involved.
Well, I didn't get a chance. There was an article where WWE actually put out a statement after Jeff was arrested or
Yeah,
the
man,
DUI.
that's such a bummer.
But I don't know what the statement said because I didn't get a chance to read it. So if you guys on the chat know what WWE did or said, then
It was so hard to see that because I mean he had sobriety for quite a long time. So to see the whole arrest, I was like, wait, where'd that come from? Why? Like, what happened? Maybe the injury and the pain. I don't know.
That's the thing, though, because if you're used to a certain lifestyle, meaning that you're sober and you're living a certain way and you're traveling all the time, you're traveling with your brother, all this other stuff, and now you're no longer doing that because of that, then it's almost, I wouldn't say easy, but now that becomes more of something that you might want to do.
Yeah, I wish him the best, though. I mean, it's a bummer to see that, and hopefully he can make full recovery and get sober once again. Main event time, tag team battle royal. So all the teams are in the ring. Well, actually, it's a battle royal, but it's a bunch of tag teams. So Tony, technically, it's kind of a tag team match. Holla, 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 holla.
Somebody on Joseph said, oh, I'm losing it, that WWE is apparently washing their hands of the whole situation because TMZ, they reported that it was 0.25.
Oh, Lord. That's a lot.
Yeah, three times over the limit. So.
Meaning, washing their hands of it, meaning like Jeff known by, essentially.
That's what I'm assuming.
Oh, that's a bummer. But all the tag teams are in the ring, and then Braun Strowman, he decides to join in, even though... Whoa.
Okay.
Fair enough. Even though he's not a tag team. And this is where things get messy. I thought once one member got eliminated, the whole team was, but apparently not. So, long story short, Mr. Raj gets eliminated at once by Braun, and then Carl Anderson's left. And he literally just launches Carl Anderson on top of everybody. And Braun wins the tag team battle royal.
Which would be an interesting match.
Yeah.
But will they legitimately give Braun the tag team?
Do you remember that idea that I mentioned earlier? Remember I said remind me?
Oh, yes.
My idea. So we've talked on the show.
Oh.
Thank you, Tony.
Oh, Anissa says Braun and Elias tag team.
That's what I was about to say.
Oh, sorry.
Because we've mentioned on the show how magical Elias and Braun's chemistry is. Mm-hmm. It's violent and it's hilarious at the same time, which is hard to do. I guarantee you it's going to be some kind of thing where Kurt Angle's like, you can't compete by yourself for the tag team titles. Mm-hmm. Elias is going to either beg him or somehow they're going to end up being an odd couple tag team.
Well, maybe Elias is the only person he can actually tolerate to that 2% level, like out of anybody else in the locker room.
It could be like another Team Hell No with Kane and Daniel Bryan, where they fight all the time, but they still win and they dominate. That'd be very entertaining. And also, I mean, he could do it by himself. Like in Championship Wrestling, we had, I wish Ty Matthews was here to talk about it. So Ty Matthews manages Watts. And Watts had the PP3 Cup, which is kind of like our Money in the Bank. Watts cashed in, actually, of all people, on the Hobo and his tag team partner, Jervis Cottonbelly, cashed in by himself after they got beat up in a match and won the tag team titles by himself. And for like 6 months, they had those titles. So anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
But I think Elias and Braun would be really fun.
Do you think the tag teams are better on Raw or SmackDown?
I mean, geez, you got the New Day and the Usos.
Like, I feel SmackDown tag team wise is stronger than Raw. So I feel like if they do get Braun and
Without
Elias,
question. Yeah.
like the belts, then I feel like now it's almost ignited it to
Yeah.
if they keep everybody in the same like Raw and SmackDown.
It depends on what you're into. The Revival, they're fantastic. They're old school. They are tag team wrestling to a T. The Bar is just, they've become so incredible. And then Gallows and Anderson, how do you not love them? So it's really what your tastes are. And then you have the New Day and the Usos, and so I don't know.
But it just seems like they're not really giving them like storylines, like to.
Well,
so maybe that's what it is.
yeah, I just don't think that they feel like any team has enough going on to just be the contenders. So why not throw the most entertaining duo that has been on Raw in the past month together?
Now, do you think they're actually going to win?
Yeah. Yep, I sure do. What does chat roll think?
What do you guys think?
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think because that way it gets Elias on the card too.
Right.
And tell me you wouldn't be intrigued by Braun and Elias as a team against the Bar.
Oh, I think it'll be amazing. Just the lead up to it too. So yeah, I definitely think it'll be. But I feel like Cesaro and oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. Sheamus. They are going to end up winning.
Okay.
I feel like they're going to figure out a way how to actually.
Which I'm totally okay with that too. I mean, the Bar's amazing. If they retain the titles, hey, party on. But
So
that
we'll
is
see.
the show. I can't believe my throat lasted the entire show. I thought I was gonna break off into a coughing fit.
I know. I thought we still had like 5 more things to go. It was like it was a long Raw today.
Well, only 2 of us. We managed to get through it pretty expedited. So overall, I thought this episode was great. Really enjoyed it.
It was.
And between Fastlane setting things up, Raw is starting to do that. I think the card is shaping up to be a really, really fun WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans.
Boom.
All right. Well, why don't you put yourself over?
Wow. You can find me on TMZ 5 days a week now, and talking some crazy stuff. Also, Baller Alert, uprocks.com, Xpac12360. We have a new women's wrestling pro weekly show, which is amazing. We have an amazing guest coming in on Wednesday. And at the end of the month, we have another one I'm really, really excited about. So definitely check into that. Other than that, you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. I am running the marathon this Sunday.
An actual marathon.
An actual marathon.
Which one?
The LA Marathon.
Oh, that's a thing again? Is it only once a year? It seems like it's every 3 months.
Well, you have like the big ones, like the Boston Marathon.
No, but it seems like LA Marathon's all the time. Wow, good luck.
Yeah. So I'm running for charity.
That's amazing.
If you want to donate money, just go on my byline. It's right there.
I will donate.
But yeah, I'm glad to.
Well, congratulations. Very proud of you.
We'll see how it goes on Sunday.
I'm not running a marathon this Sunday by any means. I will be at the Pittsburgh Improv Thursday through Saturday. So all my friends in Pittsburgh, if I have any friends in Pittsburgh, hit me up. I'd love to see you. And let's see what else we have going on. I will be calling CZW's event at WrestleCon, WrestleMania weekend, and possibly a few more. I just don't know yet. And I will be at Radio Row with the compadres. I just found out today
Nice.
at WrestleMania, which is pretty neat as well. So other than that, yeah, I don't remember anything else. So just go to QuastoAlbum.com, pick yourself up a nice comedy album, and follow Marquia McCarty at Marquia McCarty and the Hobo at True Hobo, and Tony in the booth.
Sorry, I'm never prepared for that. You can find me everywhere at Tony B Tony _ Tony TONY B the letter B Tony _ Thank you so much
There you
for that
go.
play.
And actually, Colt Babideau, he's coming to my show Thursday in Pittsburgh.
Oh, there you
So
go.
bam, there we go. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. We love you. See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.